Have you ever stopped in the middle of a thought to consider something really intimate about your body that you would never discuss with your doctor, much less a friend? Like, what's actually going on down there, especially to your prostate, if you're a man over 60 and still masturbate frequently, perhaps daily? Is it secretly harming you or improving your health? Is it increasing or decreasing your chances of developing prostate cancer? You may be shocked by the responses, which may challenge your preconceived notions about intimacy and aging. Stay with me because we're going to get into the genuine science, not gossip or criticism, and it might change the way you take care of yourself in the future. This is a routine that most men perform alone, hidden away from courteous discourse. It is rarely discussed during a checkup and is not appropriate for a dinner table. However, you can't ignore how your body changes as you approach your 50s, 60s, or even 70s. Prostate health suddenly becomes a silent priority when hormones fluctuate like tides and energy levels rise and fall. At that point, those persistent questions start to surface. Am I going overboard? Is my system under stress from this? Can I continue doing this without getting in trouble? Most likely you have been inundated with contradicting assertions while browsing online forums late at night. One side warns about increased cancer risk, fatigue, or weakness in the bladder. The other praises it as an essential purification that prevents illnesses and maintains freshness. Who is correct then? Today, we're sifting through the clutter with actual data from reliable research, concentrating just on biology, behaviors, and post-60 wellness, no myths or morality. Prior to delving into the research, let's dispel the mystery around the main attraction, your prostate. Imagine a walnut-sized gland that sits directly in front of your rectum and beneath your bladder. This little powerhouse is essential, yet it's easy to ignore until it starts acting up. During ejaculation, it churns out the fluid that protects and nourishes sperm. In other words, a healthy prostate translates into robust semen. However, it doesn't remain the same as the years go by. It frequently grows, sometimes more forcefully, and other times more slowly, like a gentle bloom. A trickling pee stream, sleep-disturbing toilet runs at night, chronic low blood pressure, and, most importantly, an increased risk of prostate cancer after the age of 50 are some of the inconveniences that may result from this. Because of this, a lot of men begin to question their daily decisions and consider whether frequent self-gratification is good or bad for this important organ. This is where a shocking revelation thickens the plot. A Harvard University team took on the persistent myths regarding ejaculation and prostate cancer in 2016. They tracked more than 31,000 males for almost 20 years, rather than merely surveying a few volunteers. What they discovered changed the course of events. Men who ejaculated at least 21 times per month had about 33% lower risk of prostate cancer than those who only ejaculated 4 to 7 times each month. The trend was obvious. The danger decreased with increased release frequency. Furthermore, an Australian study confirmed identical results, confirming the pattern across a range of demographics. What causes this to occur? The prostatic stagnation hypothesis, which has gained popularity among experts, comes next. Imagine your prostate as a bustling factory that continuously produces fluid. That substance can accumulate detritus, including poisons, dead cells, and possible carcinogens, if it is left unattended for an extended period of time. Frequent ejaculation keeps channels free and removes debris, much like a good flush. In addition, it reduces inflammation, promotes the formation of new cells, and lowers stress hormones, all of which we now know contribute to the development of cancer. Therefore, regular release may help protect your prostate as you age rather than being a bad thing. Think of it as regular upkeep for an aging engine, avoiding accumulation before it leads to malfunctions. Consider a man in his late 60s who is a retired engineer, like my imaginary acquaintance Tom. Tom had always been active, but daily self-care practices, such as masturbating, gave him comfort after the death of his wife. He was less stressed and slept better, but he was concerned about horror stories on the internet. Armed with this data, he finally spoke with his doctor, and it turned out that his behaviors were probably doing more good than harm. His PSA levels were stable, and he felt more in tune with his body. Although there is no one-size-fits-all approach, tales like Tom's demonstrate how science can transform fear into empowerment. However, we're going to get into the details, so don't think that more is always better. Daily sessions must be a no-brainer if regular ejaculation promotes prostate health, right? Be patient. It's not that simple. There is a difference between healthy routine and compulsive behaviors, even while regular masturbation, even daily, can be safe and helpful for many. Let's be honest and dissect it. For many older guys, particularly those who are traveling alone without a reliable companion, it's merely a typical way to relax, reducing stress, maintaining sexual arousal, and encouraging sleepy evenings. Imagine it as a soft reset button at the end of a long day. However, context is important. Frequency isn't the whole picture. It has to do with your body's feedback, awareness, and mental state. If you're over 60 and still going about your day, stop and ask yourself, do I come out feeling rejuvenated or exhausted? Is this an emotional crutch or a thoughtful release? Do I require more intense stimulation to finish? Has it shifted from being a decision to autopilot? If it becomes compulsive over time, you may experience desensitization, a rewiring of your brain that renders the same thrills ineffective. This may have an adverse effect on fundamental arousal or even intimacy with a partner. Then there's pelvic congestion syndrome, which is that persistent pain or heaviness in your testes or lower abdomen that comes from constant stimulation without rest periods. Additionally, the placement during the act may squeeze the pudendal nerve in people who are desk-bound or have terrible posture, resulting in numbness or persistent pelvic pain that lingers like a bad hangover. Does this imply a complete and utter quit? Absolutely not. Balance is the golden rule. Your body most likely handles everyday masturbation well if it fits into a full, purposeful existence and makes you feel fantastic. But recognizing signs of exhaustion, annoyance, or the must-do impulse, that's your signal to take a step back, take stock, and give yourself some space. Keep in mind that losing touch with what your body actually needs is the problem, not the act itself. As an example, let's look at another story. For years, my Uncle Jack, who is now 72, claimed that his daily routine kept him alert. However, following a tense maneuver, he observed signs of post-session fatigue. After reducing to once every 2 days and adding yoga to support pelvic health, he saw an increase in energy and better prostate signs, according to his doctor. Jack's tip demonstrates how paying attention to your body may transform possible setbacks into unique victories. Even with wise behaviors, your prostate may change course and start to mutter warnings before yelling. Disregarding them? Significant error, particularly after age 60 when tact is crucial. The following are warning signs that no man should ignore. Those nocturnal bathroom runs come first. More than 1 or 2 awakenings to urinate? A common, non-cancerous growth called benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, may be causing your expanding prostate to squeeze your bladder, which is similar to a traffic jam in your plumbing. The second is a weak or irregular urine flow. The prostate may be squeezing the urethra, the tube it surrounds, if it is dribbling rather than streaming or stopping in the middle. This causes annoyance over time and puts backups at risk. Third, the persistent feeling that your bladder is not empty. If pressure continues even after leaving, it can lead to infections or irritation, transforming a slight irritation into a significant problem. Fourth, climax-related discomfort. Burning, pain, or strange pressure at the top? It shouts inflammation, a potential infection, or chronic prostatitis, which can be triggered by either overdoing it or neglect. Look into it instead of normalizing it. Fifth, more general symptoms like persistent fatigue, declining libido, or problems getting an erection. These are linked to mental haze, blood flow problems, and testosterone declines, all of which are related to prostate health. In terms of general health, they are like canaries in a coal mine. In summary, these are calls to action rather than doomsday statements. Early discovery turns problems into short-term solutions, saving you from drawn-out conflicts. There's no need to panic, just watchfulness and a doctor's appointment. Zooming out, your prostate is a part of your life and is influenced by your food, exercise, sleep patterns, and mental attitude. Whether you masturbate every day or not, protecting it requires a comprehensive strategy that every man over 50 should learn. Start with fuel. Eat a lot of foods that are good for your prostate. Studies reveal that males who eat tomatoes, watermelon, and pink grapefruit reduce their risk of developing cancer by up to 20%. Lycopene is a powerful antioxidant that is associated to a lower risk of cancer. Cruciferous vegetables, such as cauliflower and broccoli, balance hormones by detoxing excess estrogen. Consider omega-3s from flax seeds, walnuts, or salmon as internal firemen that reduce inflammation. Add pumpkin seeds to salads for a simple victory. They provide zinc, which supports gland function and testosterone. Give up processed meats, sweets, and too much dairy because these exacerbate hormone imbalances and swelling. According to a Journal of Urology study, men who cut back on their consumption of red meat experience a significant decrease in BPH symptoms. Then move. Regular moderate exercise, such as a daily 30-minute brisk walk, has been shown to reduce the incidence of prostate cancer by improving circulation, weight control, and hormone balance. Ultramarathons are not necessary. Training with weights? It counteracts age-related declines by pumping testosterone. When my 65-year-old friend, who had previously been a couch potato, began doing modest weightlifting and hiking, his energy levels skyrocketed, and his doctor's visits revealed improved prostate metrics. Next, manage long-term stress. Prostate problems are silently sabotaged by high cortisol, which causes extensive inflammation. Ejaculation certainly aids in the release of stress, but add deep breathing, meditation applications, walks in the outdoors, or hearty giggles with friends. Research shows that laughter reduces inflammatory indicators. Your body becomes a resilient machine with a calm nervous system, which heals more quickly. Lastly, give checkups top priority. Having a family history or being over 50? Chat PSA testing is a straightforward blood test that can identify problems early and possibly save lives. See a professional instead of searching for symptoms online. If something doesn't feel right, trust your instincts. To sum up, you now have the unadulterated truth. After age 60, masturbating every day is not always harmful. In fact, research indicates that it may protect against prostate cancer by removing toxins, balancing hormones, and improving mood and sleep. It's a lifeline to physiological connection for a lot of single men. With backups like wholesome diets, exercise, stress management, and regular screenings, it's hardly a panacea. Please hit like, subscribe, and bell for more if this helped you feel better or cleared up any confusion. Leave a comment. What other taboos around men's health should we examine? One conversation at a time, let's mainstream these discussions.